do. There we go.
Do, do, do,
Yes.
do, 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 do.
And that's where that ends. No license, yo. Uh,
Yeah.
all right, so welcome to Game of Spoilers, a Game of Thrones fan cast with the CosCast.
Yes,
Yes.
we were. Yes, I had a nap earlier today, and
Yes,
my
me
brain
too.
is like mush.
Yeah, so is mine. Oh, it's been a long day. I'm so tired. I have no words.
Good we have this thing to talk
Oh
about though,
yeah.
because this is fun.
Yes, this is what's kept me going throughout the day. If I can just make it home.
Yeah, survive the day, and then
Mm-mm.
we can talk about Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yes, that's why we're here.
Yes. So, basically, we're going to be talking about episode 2 of season 8. Did they give it a title? Because the first one was titled Winterfell, but yesterday when I watched it on the HBO app, it was just titled episode 2.
No, it's called a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Aww.
Yeah.
We know what that means.
Yes,
Yes.
we do. And night as in a night, not as in,
Not as in night
nighttime
night,
with the moon.
goodbye. Good night.
No, the first one.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna post a link on Facebook and just announce that we are live there
Yes, do it.
because I have been neglecting Facebook for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I've been neglecting social media all over, to be fair, for the past few weeks. Just Easter hit me hard, y'all.
Yeah, I think that is fair to say.
Mm.
There we go. Now, if anyone wants to join us, hey, Cici Tori!
Welcome to the chat.
Welcome. Have you had a nice Easter holiday? That's what I'm wondering before we jump into this thing. Anyway, my brain is slowly getting back into fan conspiracy mode, and this episode, I must say, this episode has been full of conspiracy moments. It's like, just to sum up this episode before we start talking about it, they have basically played their game so smart because they have planted a seed for almost every character to be the prince who was promised. They have kind of, in every moment they can, they have summed up everyone's heroic acts and tried to put them, like all the fan theories that's been about the Azor Ahai and the prince who has been promised. Every character who has been in on that conspiracy, they've put everything about that in this episode.
Yeah. Like, we talked about this, we kind of predicted it last episode of Game of Spoilers. Like, this episode was going to be a setup episode.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting the stage ready for big things to come. And
yes.
Episode 3 is pretty much going to be a battle scene. We know
yeah,
that.
that's gonna be the big battle. I don't know if they have announced the name. No, they have not announced the name of that, but we do know that that will be or at least we think we know it's gonna be the battle episode of Winterfell, which I'm kind of excited about. And we're gonna talk about predictions for the next episode later. First, we're gonna go through this episode, and we might as well just jump into it. This episode starts with Jaime standing in front of Daenerys and the other lords and ladies of Winterfell. Yeah, basically all the important people, like we actually predicted, or as we did see in the preview, we knew that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
But what do we think of how this scene was handled?
Alright, so straight off the bat, we knew Daenerys was going to want him dead, or thrown in a dungeon, or something. That proved to be true. Brienne stepped up to save him, or defend him at least, which we kind of also saw coming. I think we mentioned that in the last episode as well. Like, this would be a great moment for Brienne to come in. I don't remember, but I think we did.
I think we talked about it, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I was almost surprised that Sansa was so willing to just put her fate in Brienne's hands, but then again, Brienne has saved her life several times and vowed to stand by her side.
Yeah,
So...
and I know that Sansa, I was kind of a bit, I liked the kind of Daenerys and Sansa bonding moment when they both wanted Jaime dead. That's like the first thing they've had in common since they've met each other. But yeah, I was also like, because Sansa changed her mind really fast. But it just says a lot about what Brienne actually means to her. Because she's, I
mean, because Brienne's word is as good as, gold, I guess you could say. Like, if she swears to something, she swears to something. She's not one for lying.
I agree. CC Tori says that I'm gonna have to miss CosCast on Sunday. It's not gonna be CosCast this Sunday. It's gonna be the next one.
So you're
just
good.
So you know. You're good for this one at least. But it's understandable if you want to see Game of Thrones before you leave to school.
Yeah, spoilers and all of that. Like, I cannot imagine how dangerous it is to walk into a classroom nowadays if you haven't seen the latest episode of something, because everyone will be talking about it. So.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to be very, very sensitive on that. Do not talk spoilers on the bus. Do not talk spoilers in public at all. Do it behind your own four walls. Just like sex. No,
or on Twitch.
Just kidding. Yeah, or on Twitch. If it's announced, you're allowed. Spoiler warning! We'll spoil Game of Thrones. That's why you have Game of Thrones spoilers with big letters in the text.
Yes.
So there.
So everyone knows what they're walking themselves into.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but I actually like that they did this as the beginning. It was a strong beginning because this is also a meeting we have been waiting for ages, and it was nice to see it actually happening. It was nice to see that Jaime. I don't know. It was just the eye contact between the characters. It all felt very genuine, and I just liked that scene a lot.
Yeah, I really did too. I enjoyed watching it.
But here we got introduced. Ooh, wow, Ola.
Someone's a bit stuffed.
Yeah. But here we got into some new costumes.
Yes.
So at least Daenerys has a new costume and Sansa has a new costume, and this Sansa costume is the one who got leaked.
Yeah. It's kind of like the leather armor strappy thingy.
Yeah, and I find it kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it too.
It looks a little bit like the Unsullied armor in its shape. So I'm not sure if that is because she wants to be as fierce as the Unsullied, or that it's a sign that she's kind of under Daenerys, or if it's just a sign of good faith towards Daenerys. It's hard to tell with Sansa because she's sneaky and snarky.
Yeah, she has this whole, like, I'm going to imitate you or mirror you in some way, and a lot of the time it's not necessarily meant as a compliment.
No. But there's one thing that I noticed. And Sansa and Arya is wearing the same hairstyle.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't really think about that, but
they have this... Yeah, it's like sleek and a little bun behind their head and some small braid detailing, but it basically Arya and Sansa are bonding with the same hairstyle.
Yeah.
Because Sansa has been stealing other people's hairstyles also, not just the clothing. But now it seems like they have
their own.
The same thing going on, yeah.
I wonder if we look back at season 1, if that hairstyle will be the same as Lady Cat used to wear. Because I don't remember, but that could be a thing. Like, maybe they've gone back to the roots, so to speak.
Maybe.
We'll
Maybe.
see. We'll see. We'll have to look that up. Or maybe someone
Yeah.
watching can look that up. Cece is saying, I'm having cosplay wants and I don't want her to die. She's talking about Sansa, I assume.
I don't want her to die either.
No, me neither. I love Sansa.
Yeah.
I think Daenerys' new outfit looked nice too, but it wasn't super inspiring. It was just more of the gray stuff with some fur on it, basically.
Yeah, it's the same silhouette that she's been using the last season as well.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more dark, a little bit more suited for battle.
And cold weather.
Yeah. Okay, now let's move on. Because the next scene... No. There's one thing more that happens in this scene, which I find really, really, really fun and just a cool kind of, I don't know, detail.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when Daenerys rises, everyone else can rise, right?
Yeah.
Daenerys has to be the one who signs, now everyone can rise.
Yeah.
But when she does that, as soon as she does that, Sansa just gets up and just leaves the room as fast as she can. And
then when Jon goes, he kind of like avoids her, like just walks straight past her on the way out.
Oh yeah. So it's like, I just think it's nice that people just shows their personality. Nobody really hides anything. Yeah. Well, the next scene is Daenerys, Tyrion, Jorah, and Varys. They walk through some sort of hall. Daenerys is clearly very angry and threatens to give Tyrion's job as hand to someone else.
Yeah.
What do we think?
I think she's acting out, showing that she's still young. And I also think that the moment she says that, the other people in the hallway are like, oh shit, no, thank you.
Yeah,
I do not want that job.
But I kind of think that it shows the madness inside Daenerys, because I think that she has this ruthless anger, and she's a ticking bomb. It just shows that she might have more of her father's genes in her than everyone else has been thinking.
Oh no, she's clearly batshit. I mean...
Oh yeah.
She's been through a lot. She's lost her kid, she's lost her husband, she's lost a dragon. There is definitely some madness coming out that... I don't think people maybe thought she had to begin with. So she might go completely overboard eventually, but we don't know.
Cici Tori agrees with us. Cool. Good. Then it's not just us. But I also feel really bad for Tyrion, and this is kind of a ongoing theme throughout this episode. It's just him feeling sorry for himself about his bad choices. And I also think that's nice because usually when they do this in TV series, it just means that this is how low as he will go. And maybe this will be the changing point, because now he has had time to change it. And so I'm hoping for him to have a glorious moment soon.
That would be great. Like even if that means his death, if he has a moment of glory, that'll be a good ending for him as a character. Even though I like Tyrion, I would like him to stay alive, but no guarantees.
I don't think he's gonna die based on a comment that Daenerys tells him later on in the episode. Just so I don't forget it, she asks him to basically go below in the tombs with the other people. Yeah.
Cece says, lol, if I agree it's canon, I'm okay with that.
Yes. Agreed. Next scene is basically the forge with Gendry and Arya, and this is, I don't know, it's just, they have a really weird dynamic. We see all the dragon glass that has been prepared, and we see that Winterfell is ready to fight some White Walkers. And I think they bring this just to make people excited. But what do we think of like the Gendry Arya dynamic here? Because she is very demanding.
She is very aggressive. Very like, make me my weapon. God damn it, do it first.
Make my weapon first. I need it. This doesn't look strong enough. It is strong enough. Well, I want to see death in the eyes. I can hit the same mark 3 times in a row. Look how good I am.
I'm so
That's
cool.
basically. Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think this was a way for Arya to show Gendry that... Because I got the feeling that he still felt that she was a kid or a little girl or, like, needed defending or protection, you know?
Yeah.
And this was her way of showing him, like, I do not need your protection. Now make me my goddamn weapon, bitch. That's kind of what that scene said to me.
Yeah, I agree. But the way they made Arya just look so fancy and arrogant in a way that I'm afraid for her. Because if you think back on the trailer that was made before season 8 even started, one of the major and first things you see in that trailer is Arya bleeding from the head, running in the crypts from something. And she seems like a kid when she runs, and she seems hella scared.
Yeah.
And that is not the Arya that you see in this episode.
No, I think they're setting her up for a fall.
Oh yes, they are, definitely. So I'm just waiting for something to happen.
But as Cece says, I think she's always had a crush on him. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, for sure, she has.
I think she's having a bit of fun with him. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely yes. But I like that, because Gendry was asking her if she was going down in the crypts, and I just like that she's like, hell no, I'm gonna be where the action is, for sure.
Which is very Arya.
Oh yeah. Then the next scene after this is the one with Brandon and Jaime by the tree in the courtyard of Winterfell. And they have their big meeting where Jaime tells Bran that he's sorry. Do we think that Jaime actually is sorry for pushing Bran out the window?
I think he kind of is.
I agree.
I think he would still do it again if he was put in the situation.
Yes.
I mean, if he hadn't lost all trust in Cersei. So I think pushing Bran out the window is the one thing he actually regrets doing. Yeah. And I was like, burn, when Bran said the things we do for love earlier on, like in the beginning of the episode. I was like...
Oh yeah, it's like so obvious that he knows, but he doesn't tell. And I just really, really like the way when Jaime asks Bran, why didn't you tell everyone? And Bran is like, well, dude, I need you alive for now. So it's just like, and also the comment when Jaime's like, yeah, you need me alive for the battle, but what about afterwards? And Bran is like, how do you know there's gonna be an afterwards? Dun dun dun. So yeah. Hey guys, finally finished watching the
episode. Yeah. Do you want to join? Episode. If you want to join us, Tanya, we will invite you to the audio chat.
Yeah. No, but I just really enjoyed the Bran and Jaime scene. It was short and sweet, and I don't know, a bit funny as well. It had its
moments. There were a lot of moments during this episode.
Yeah, and humorous as well. Like, I don't know, I liked it. The next, yeah. So the next one is Winterfell Courtyard with Tyrion and Jaime. And this is also a very nice meeting and talk that I think was very important for their relationship as brothers. And they started off by talking about Daenerys.
Yes. Hang on.
Did you? What did you do?
I added Tonya to the chat.
So you called me again. Oh well. We are professionals here.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah,
So,
I think you need to fix the picture thingy, though.
what do you mean?
In the screen,
yeah.
because
Oh,
now
for
it
sure.
looks really weird.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I'm gonna fix that.
Yeah. No.
We're just waiting for Tanya's camera to work.
Oh, it is working for me.
Oh, I can't see it.
Oh, yeah, I see that you can see it. I see it, though, but...
It's buffering. So, we'll just wait.
Yeah, I think you need to pull it a little bit more. Not that way, the other way.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna minimize this.
Ah, you're fixing... Aha. Smart.
Usually we have it up here. So I'm
Yes.
just gonna do like this.
Yes.
Have some commercials for Discord. I don't know why it's not picking up Tanya's webcam though.
No, but I can see it on my end, so I don't know.
Can we hear her? Ah, there she is. There we go. Hello.
I just did what we did to HBO. I quit and turn it back on again.
Ah, there we go.
Like 100 times.
Yeah, could you turn up your audio a little bit, Tanya?
I will do
like this.
Yeah, that's better.
A lot better.
Yes. Okay. So the next one is the Winterfell courtyard. Let's just talk a little bit about the conversation between Tyrion and Jaime, because they start about talking about Daenerys and why they follow a new queen and stuff like that. It's just generic talk, really. But it's very clear that Tyrion is very concerned about his future as Hand, and as we talked a little bit about earlier, he questions himself and his judgment a lot. And I think it's just very obvious that during the scene, Jaime is talking about his own worries and his own things, but they are kind of using both their experiences to help each other out, even though they kind of talk about completely different things. But what do you guys think about that conversation? Because I thought it was very nice.
Well, I mean, the thought I had immediately after watching it was Tyrion is so right. Jaime has always known who Cersei was and loved her anyway.
Yes.
That is like such truth. On point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Tyrion wants to believe her but can't because he's always suspicious of her.
Yeah, well, I guess he tried to give her a last chance, I guess. And that was her last chance, and she totally screwed it up.
Yeah.
She didn't even care.
No.
I don't think she understands how badly she has potentially fucked up for herself.
I don't think anyone is ever gonna listen to her when she cries wolf again.
No.
Say it like that.
I don't think so.
But do we believe that Jaime is truly over Cersei, though?
To a certain extent, yeah. But I think he would, like, if she came running back to him, I think he would still have, he would have to take some time to, like, actually really think about it.
You think?
Yeah.
I think he's done with thinking. I think he has decided. And the moment he left for Winterfell was when he had decided.
I think that when he meets up with his friends who got tasked with murdering both of the brothers, he will know that.
Yeah, that's true.
He lost.
Yeah. I don't think Bronn will go through with it, though.
I don't think so either.
But we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
I mean, the question is Bronn even gonna bother going all the way north? Because, like, he knows what's waiting up there. He might just fuck off somewhere and go chill and hope that everything sorts itself out.
Maybe. Who knows? Crosses the narrow sea to go wherever Daenerys was before she came to Westeros.
Who knows? somewhere warmer.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, Jaime gets distracted by the conversation that he has with Tyrion. When Tyrion is like, I'm gonna strangle Cersei, Jaime doesn't really hear that because he is distracted by Brienne the Beauty. She is training the soldiers and making sure that Podrick is ready for the big fight to come. So what do we think of this Brienne versus Jaime scene that comes next?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, I think I kind of felt like Brienne, like, you're being way too nice. What do you want?
Yes.
But I loved that he was trying to be sweet and supportive and like, yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Like, what? You've never gone this long without insulting me. What's going on?
Yeah, I think that Brienne actually has opened up his eyes for another type of relationship, really, because he respects her as on a whole different level, because she's a powerful woman in her own right, but she has more honor and more integrity than Cersei has. So I think she's a refreshing to him.
Yeah,
I think so as well. And also, I think just a little bit about what I talked about earlier when I stated that they have been setting up for people to be the Azor Ahai throughout this whole episode.
Yeah.
And all the way to now, they have been setting up Jaime. Because in every scene, they have been talking about him being a great warrior, and he is changing because the Azor Ahai, one of the pieces of the myth is that he is reborn. And almost all of the other people who has been marked as could be potential Azor Ahais has been reborn in one way or another. Both Daenerys when she walked out with the dragons when she burned, Jon when he woke up after he died. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Even the Hound got reborn as, when he got religious and or whatever, but we're going to talk more about that later. I just want to mention that this far in the episode, they have been setting up Jaime a lot.
Yeah, because he says, I'm not the same person that I used to be, basically, before. And
yeah, and also the Azor Ahai, a part of the myth is that the original prince who was promised, he killed his greatest love, Nisa, with his sword to fuel the sword with her spirit. That is how he managed to kill the White Walkers and drive them north the first place.
Yeah.
So could Nisa be Brienne, and could the Azor Ahai be Jaime? That's what they've been setting up this far in the episode, at least.
It's possible. I don't see why Jaime would kill Brienne.
No, but that's just part of the story.
Indirectly, he could end up killing her. Like, she could sacrifice herself for him or something.
Maybe.
But it's a possibility, for sure. I mean, there are so many possible Azor Ahais in there, in the mix.
It is. But at least they have been setting this up hardcore style.
Yeah. Yeah. It was one big setup.
It is. But I like that they are friendly to each other, because they have been on opposing teams all this way, but it's been like this energy between them. All like they are friends. They care deeply for each other. Deeply in a way that I don't think any other characters in the show actually cares for each other. It just seems real without actual being, a romantic relationship. It's just a genuine relationship.
Cece also says in the chat, Jorah got a sword and loves Dany.
I know. We're getting to that because they're setting up Jorah too.
Yes, everyone's being set up.
So let's move on, because this is the Daenerys and Jorah talk, basically, where Jorah is talking to Daenerys about forgiveness, making mistakes, and how Daenerys has been forgiving people in the past. She even forgave Jorah for, committing treason or whatever. Almost. Yeah. So what do we think that this conversation means for Tyrion?
Well, I think this is kind of what brings Daenerys back to reason after she
I agree.
Basically said oh, he's made so many mistakes and you might get his job at some point, blah blah blah, and Jorah is like, I don't want that job. I feel like that's part of his motivation, at least. Like, you chose him for a reason, and he's doing the best he can, and
he's known to be like the cleverest man in the world, almost. So
you're gonna need him.
Yeah, and everyone can make mistakes.
Yes. So I think this is the reason why she says the things she says later in the episode.
Yeah, but he also ends the conversation with I have one last suggestion, and is that what leads up for Daenerys to go talk to Sansa, or do you guys think it's something else?
I'm not sure.
Me neither, because I didn't really understand why he would be. I have one more suggestion, and then it just cutscene, and you see Daenerys go straight for Sansa. So it might be that she tries to, break bread with her or fix things. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, storytelling wise, it would make sense that, I have a suggestion, go talk to Sansa. That it makes sense, with continuity and flow of the story, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I see that CC Tori thought it was Sansa as well, so I think it was, but it wasn't why would Jorah recommend Daenerys to talk to Sansa? Jorah doesn't know Sansa. So that's just the reason why I found it weird. But I guess TV's TV, the show must go on.
Yeah, it's probably strategy, but he's a warrior. He's used to thinking strategy and make peace with people that you need on your side, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have anything to add? No.
Nope.
Okay, I'm just gonna assume that when you don't say anything, you don't have anything to add. So if you have something to say, just say it, or else I'm gonna move on. All right?
Business as usual.
Well, the next scene is the one with Daenerys and Sansa that we talked about. And they start their conversation about talking about Tyrion. So this is also why I think the two scenes are connected, because Jorah and Dany were talking about Tyrion, and then Sansa and Daenerys are talking about Tyrion straight after. So I think it's connected.
Yeah.
And CC Tori says, because Dany needs Sansa on her side, this is true.
Yes. And also his house is close to the Starks. Which, yes.
And that is also very true. Yeah. So I believe that's right.
And I guess that if she wants to get in bed with her brother, she already has, but
she needs to score some sister-in-law points.
Yes.
But I think Sansa was able to actually bring Daenerys over on Tyrion's side again, because Sansa had a lot of clever things to say. And when Daenerys was like, but he believed his sister. And Sansa's like, well, so did you.
Yeah, you should never have trusted Cersei either, so...
No.
Yeah, it's easy to blame others for your own mistake, too.
Yeah, so I think that was a good thing to level Daenerys up again, because she is reckless and she doesn't really think. She needs clever people by her side.
Yeah.
Sansa could rule by herself because she has already learned how to think these things, but Daenerys hasn't.
No, she's not as strategic just yet.
No.
Herasatai says Sansa is the smartest. Thanks. Yes.
Well, it's true. It's true.
She is. Sansa snark Is her name.
Sansa Snark, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we think about the conversation they had after they talked about Tyrion? I thought it was a little bit, fake. Like, sister,
Yeah, no, I mean, the moment Dany put her hand on Sansa's hand, I was like, that is a power play for emotions, and Sansa's not going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I was waiting for Sansa to go where she went. Like, what about the North? We promised that we would never kneel for anyone ever again, so what about the North, bitch?
But that's basically the same thing that Yara said to Daenerys back in Meereen. Because Daenerys has basically told Yara that she can have the Iron Islands and be queen there. So wouldn't it be fair for Daenerys to tell Sansa the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, it would be but we don't know if she has any intention of keeping her promise to Yara anyway.
I don't think she has, because she never closed the deal.
No, she didn't.
In that way. But they shook hands, but it was not really like, they didn't really discuss terms.
No.
Anyway. But it's very clear that it's queens all over Westeros.
Yeah.
It's the ladies ruling. You have Cersei, you have Lady Olenna, who's dead, but it ended up almost only being female regents, which is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
And
because all the dudes went and got themselves killed.
That's true. And the thing that, like, gender roles has been shifted since Robert's rebellion and the Mad King and that time of area. It seems like a lot of the gender roles has shifted place, which also is a thing that I'm gonna just remember that for later, because I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that later. Just remember that thing, because Game of Thrones, they love their history repeats itself moments. And then they get interrupted because Theon's home. So what do we think of this meeting? First with Daenerys and Theon, which is all right, my queen and whatever, but the one with Sansa, when he's like, I'm gonna fight for you, Sansa, and hugs, what do we think?
It made me so happy. I was like, oh goodness, how is this gonna go over? If he meets someone else first, like Jon or whatever, it could have been like, what the fuck are you doing here? But because it's Sansa and they have this past together where he basically was her only friend for so long and saved her life, it was just so beautiful. It made me happy.
And also, it wasn't, I want to fight for the Starks, I want to fight for you, Lady Sansa.
Yeah.
And just the look of Daenerys' face when he said that was like, oh shit, I better take this but seriously.
Because she can inspire loyalty too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Hedesitar says, I went full emo. And Cece says, that moment, oh my god, I almost really cried. My babies. Yes, my babies. I nearly cried too. I got very emotional.
So yeah, now I just thought that was amazing. And that also, Theon is also in the running of becoming the Azor Ahai. He's been born again. He's been through some shit. He's not the same as he was the first season. Personally, I don't believe this. I don't believe that he is the Azor Ahai, but he fits some of the description. There's a lot of things that he fits in, which basically every character in Game of Thrones fits in. But I'm just mentioning that they're putting all the people together that could be the Azor Ahai. So I think we're gonna get the revelation next episode or the episode after that.
For us, not so much Game of Thrones noobs, what's Azor Ahai?
Oh, the prince who was promised. It's a prophecy about. We talked a lot about it the last Game of Spoilers thing we did, but it's basically
no. But
yes, you were.
Remember Melisandre when she thought that Stannis would be the savior of the world, and that's why she tried to help him become king. Yes, he was meant to be the Azor Ahai, she thought, and then he wasn't, and then she thought, oh, maybe it's Jon Snow, and we've never really gotten an answer to it. So we're
No.
still waiting to see if Azor Ahai is actually Jon Snow or if it's someone else, the prince that was promised, the chosen one of the Lord of Light, basically.
And also, in the prophecy was in High Valyrian, and in High Valyrian, the genders are not specific, so it can be both prince or princess. It's not. It doesn't have to be a prince.
No. So there are plenty of potential princess who were promised.
Yes.
Hedesetai says, I think Theon will sacrifice himself for Sansa. Yes, I think he will too.
I think so too.
If given the chance, he will.
Yeah, he is definitely a candidate for that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So the next scene up is Davos giving food to soldiers, people in Winterfell, and just Gilly helping out the people and boosting morale and talking. And there's this little girl who comes up to Davos, and she has this scar on her face and kind of reminds him a little bit of Shireen, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What does this scene mean for Davos? What's the point of the scene?
Just to stab him in the heart.
A little bit, yeah. No, but I mean, this is kind of like a girl power scene too, kind of, I feel. Because he's very ready to protect her, this little girl. Like, oh, you should be in the crypts beneath. But she's like, no, my brothers were fighters, and I am a fighter too. What should I do? And then, and I think he's just so taken aback by it, like he doesn't know what to say.
Yeah. Struggling about... I think he's just struggling a lot. And to me, I don't think Davos will die. I don't think they would put this scene there if his purpose was just to die in the next episode. It needs to mean something.
Yeah. If he dies, he's gonna die saving someone. You started saying something?
Yeah, well, they have had, things where, oh, this is supposed to mean something or something, and then this character dies, and then everyone's like, oh, what about that?
But it also always means something for someone. I don't think there has been anything happening in Game of Thrones without a reason. It's always because some character that will gain something from it.
Obviously.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, why would they put this scene there who's just so specific for only Davos and Gilly, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. Ramsay comes to mind, and his needs.
Yeah, he's dead, so...
I'm sorry, I digress.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Cece says that if he dies protecting that kid because he couldn't protect Shireen, that would be beautiful. Poetic justice.
It would be. So it might be something like that.
Yeah.
That he finally does something, because he's kind of known for the person. He's not a coward, but he doesn't do anything during fights or battles. He's just there. So.
He survives. That's his thing. He's good at surviving, but it might be that they put this up just, because the thing is, me and my hubby talked about this yesterday, and he's like, God damn it, they're trying to make us feel so much. And I'm like, yes, they're reestablishing all the characters, all their hopes and dreams and fears, so that we care as much about them as possible before they take them away from us.
Very true. So I think that it's much possible that he will sacrifice himself for that girl later.
It's possible.
Yeah. But then the Night's Watch arrived. Woo! And Jon's like, hey! And Thor, I think this is like the biggest jump scare of the episode, when Tormund just like boom into Jon. What do we think?
Awesome. Me first.
Yeah, Tormund is your favorite character, I know, so you're always happy when he makes an appearance on screen.
Well, he's funny.
Yes, he's so cool and funny. I'm gonna be so sad when he dies. I think he's going to die, because he's only there for, comedic purposes, I guess. But I think he will die. I don't want him to, but I think he will.
He's kind of the bearer of ill news. Like, they're coming, get ready. And where's the big woman?
Yeah, you have this and this and this. Like, this scene is nice because they establish the facts about where the dead are, how many men they have. Like, everyone who's from here and further north are with the dead now. So no one is coming. And I think that's a nice thing to know. I do think, though,
Teresa says, but giant babies.
Yeah, they would be glorious.
Red-headed giant baby.
Yes.
With angelic blue eyes. Anyway, but just one more thing. You know Ed, the guy from the Night's Watch, who he's always there, but nobody knows who he is. But he's been there like since season 1 almost. And I'm like, how has he survived for so long and nobody knows who he is?
Well, I mean, he is the commander of the Night's Watch.
Yes,
now.
But he didn't used to be in the start.
No, I mean, like, even in the books, Dolorous Ed started out as a nobody who only complained and was negative about everything. Oh, we're all gonna die. Oh, we're gonna lose this. Oh, we're all gonna freeze to death. That's kind of his role. So even him, as a very, like, character out in the periphery, has had like a character arc where he has a sense of humor now, and you know who he is, and he has a role of some importance.
Yes, he has.
Really
but it's
funny.
like the one character, he's like one of the main characters who's left, who I haven't learned the name of until this very season. It's just like, it's just a guy in the Night's Watch. Who cares? He's probably gonna die. No, he's not that. It's the same guy from like season 1. What the fuck? So he's probably gonna survive everything, and he's gonna be the one who writes the book after. Not Sam, it's gonna be him.
Yeah.
Who knows?
No, it's really funny though, but it was nice to see him again. Like he had some funny things to say during the episode.
Oh yeah. I think he's gonna die.
Yeah, probably.
Most of them are.
I think so.
Only a few will survive this thing for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Next scene is just narrated, getting ready for battle scene, really. And I think this is very nice, just to see where everyone's at, like how controlled they are, how like everything is well prepared and planned, it seems. It's John talking, I believe, and then they pan over the war table where everyone is, basically. Everyone of importance is by the war table. Mm-hmm. What do we think of this scene? Because they're talking about a lot of things. And one of the things is how they're gonna get to the Night King, and they establish that, okay, we don't have the numbers, we're gonna lose, but we need to get to the Night King. If we get him, we get all. Mm-hmm. So what do we think about the plan of using Bran as bait?
Well, I mean, it's... You go first, Tonja.
It sounds like something the Casserols would think of.
Maybe.
So stupid it just might work.
Yes.
No, it's... I mean, for what it is, it's a decent plan. But it does assume that Bran is the one the Night King is after. It's likely, because they have history and Bran knows everything and can see
the Night
everything.
King has been wanting to get all the three-eyed ravens, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense for Bran to be a target, but also Daenerys and her dragons could be a target. He might want all of them, like, collect the full set.
Yeah.
We know.
Especially the dragons, because if they are correct and that the dragon fires do hurt him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very interested in the dragons the last time they met him.
Yeah, he got one of them, so...
Mm-hmm.
But it might also be the case that he just wants Jon. Because there is... Now I'm gonna go on the theories again, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Go on.
Because... back to the prince who was promised, because Rhaegar Targaryen thought he was the Azor Ahai. He believed that he was the Azor Ahai. And Lyanna was the love of his life. And the thing is that the Azor Ahai killed or brought he didn't kill, but he brought the Night King back the first time he attacked with his sword, the Lightbringer, which contained the soul of Nisa Nisa, his loved one. The thing is, Rhaegar kind of stabbed Lyanna with his, meat sword, and they made Lightbringer, which could be Jon. And it could be that Jon is just a sacrifice, that Lightbringer wasn't a sword all along, it was just a baby sacrifice, because the people, Crester, he just gave the Night King babies for sacrifices and he left him alone. So it might be that he just wants Jon.
Maybe. I mean,
Who knows?
It's as good a theory as any, I suppose.
I know.
At this point, we don't know. No one knows.
It's just interesting to have everything.
I don't know. I mean, like, as far as plans goes, when you don't know what you're up against and what the enemy really wants beyond destroying everything, you just have to hope that what you think is right and go through with it. And I appreciate the fact that Theon volunteered to protect Bran with the Ironborn. And that Bran went like, yes. So, like, he could see where this was going, or that Theon's intentions were true, or whatever. So that kind of at least gives me hope as a viewer that Theon is doing things for the right reasons this time.
I think he is. I think he started doing that when Yara was taken.
Oh, yeah.
After Yara was taken.
Yeah.
Now
Sansa got him started on that path, and then
yes.
When Yara got taken, he really came through.
And when he got back on, when he was back at Dragonstone, at the shores there, and one of the Ironborn was kicking him in the balls because he left Yara basically with Euron, and then Theon was like, "Hey, this doesn't hurt. I'm gonna take you down now." Bow. And I think that was the moment when Theon was fully Theon again and not Reek.
Yeah,
because I haven't seen the pieces of Reek since that moment.
No, me neither. I think Reek is gone.
I think so too, and that's nice.
Yeah. Beyond that, I don't think I have much to say about that scene.
No, it's only that Tyrion is being ordered by Daenerys to stay in the crypt, and I think this is a foreshadowing of Tyrion actually is going to survive this because they need his mind. And Dany tries to get eye contact with Jon, and Jon is just like, "Nope, not looking at you," and he just leaves without saying anything. And Tyrion and Bran are left in the room. So what do we think Bran tells Tyrion about? Because apparently they have all night.
Well,
he tells some of his story, what he went through out on the other side of the wall.
Oh yeah, I think he tells him everything.
Because no one else asks.
Yeah, or he's going to be just all mysterious about it and like, wouldn't you like to know?
Well, he said, I think they were both very open. It seemed like they were both very open because he was like, "It's gonna be a long story." Well, we have all night.
If only we were trapped in a castle in the middle of winter with nowhere else to go.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I think they had themselves a good long talk because everyone avoids Bran now because he's weird and creeping them out and stuff. So I think he actually might appreciate the friendly gesture of someone saying like, "I want to know what you've been through,"
And he's also the most cleverest man in Westeros.
Yes, that's
who better to know,
Yep, he should.
I think he's gonna learn something interesting from Bran at least.
Yeah.
Something that we're gonna see later on that's gonna pay off later on. Next scene is Grey Worm outside with Missandei. Basically, they're just talking about giving themselves hope of what they're gonna do when the war is over.
Yeah.
To me personally, this scene didn't give me anything. It just kind of set up for them to die, basically. I think they're gonna die up there.
Yeah, I mean...
One of them at least.
Yeah, at least one of them. But I mean, I appreciated, like, the sweetness of it. Like, my people can't defend themselves. Well, I'm going to defend your people because my people know how to do that. Like, it's a big promise. Like, I will travel around the world with you and dedicate my people to saving your people from slavery. Like, if that isn't love. But as you say, I think this might be a way to jack up our emotions so we'll care more about them when and if they both or one of them dies.
Yeah. I am going to get sad when Grey Worm dies because he has had a great character development so far, and we have just gotten under the skin, of who is he as a character. So it's going to be sad, but I think he's gonna die. I think I've said that like 3 times now. He's gonna die. Gonna die.
Well, or maybe Missandei dies and he goes like mad with rage and goes on a suicide mission or something. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, because she is his weakness.
Yes.
As an Unsullied, he never found his weakness, but it is her.
Yeah, for sure.
Weakness is strength.
Yeah, this is true. Cici Tori Bran is the dog that runs to every window to watch you.
Yes. Just not as happily as a dog would.
Yeah, but I'm wondering about like the plan they have, because the Night King can watch Bran, and the Bran can watch the Night King. Can they plant like visions? And I don't know. Now it's getting too much sci-fi. No, I think their plan is going to be awesome.
Have you talked about the theory about the Night King being Bran?
We talked a little bit about it last week, actually, but we can talk more about it at the end of this episode if you have anything to add.
I'm not sure if I have, because I wasn't in the last episode.
No, I mean, basically, I had just been watching some videos about it online where people were talking about could Bran be the Night King. I don't think he is, personally, because there's a lot of things that would have to fit perfectly together for that to happen. But I mean, it's still plausible in some ways. But yeah,
I think it's plausible in the series, but I don't think necessarily that is what's going to happen in the books.
No.
It is a type plot twist. The Night King is Snook.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
At the end, he universe jumps and ends up in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I would love to see all the drama that will cause between HBO and Disney. That would be so hilarious. And the ending theme of the last episode of Game of Thrones will just be, the Star Wars theme, and you see like the text just floating on the screen.
In a galaxy far, far away.
This was the prehistoric beginning in a different universe. Luke Skywalker and Jon Snow fought the White Walkers together. No. Anyway, next scene is Jon Snow, Sam, and Ghost. We actually get to see Ghost again. Ghost was so small. I was like, why is Ghost so small and Nymeria so fucking huge?
Maybe they got tired of CGI.
I think so.
Yeah, because they said they spent so much time CGIing those wolves in earlier episodes. Like, I think they just figured it's not worth it. But also,
maybe
Ghost was always the runt of the litter. Like, he was almost dead when Jon found him. He was the smallest one. So it might just be that he never fully grew up to the size he could have been.
Yeah.
And Cici says about the Bran and Night King theory that whenever it comes up in interviews, the actors seem like, lol, what the hell? No, that's not true. So,
that's what you say when something is true,
We'll see. But yeah.
No, well, it's not clear that you didn't notice this episode. He was just sitting there in the background, still, if he was just placed there as an Easter egg, so people would, oh, there's Ghost, because everyone was like talking about where the fuck is Ghost whole season 7, because you couldn't see Ghost anywhere. So it was just like, yeah, he's here. He's just in the background. See, he's been in the background all this time. You happy now, fans?
The wolf doesn't have dialogue, okay?
His name is Ghost. He's supposed to be invisible.
And he just costs shit ton of money.
But they're talking about, John and Sam. They're just talking about, have you told Danny yet? No, I have not. But you should tell her, What do we think of this scene?
Honestly, I hardly even remember this scene. Like, I remember, like, how it looks when the scene begins, but I don't remember the dialogue specifically.
Yeah.
So it didn't really stand out to me in any way.
No, it was just to, like, I think it was just placed there so we as viewers would know that John is very confrontational with Daenerys, and he hasn't done the talk yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be awkward. Like, actually, you're my auntie.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
I think and the scene is more about, them realizing that out of the entire brotherhood that they started out with, it's only those 3 left.
Yeah.
And they just, swearing to each other that the last of us should burn the others.
Yeah, because Ed comes along at the end of the scene as well. But they also have a talk about where Sam should be during the battle. And this is where they kind of talk about all the heroic acts that Sam has done during Game of Thrones, which is going to point, like they do this with a lot of the characters. They establish all the heroic acts so people will think that they are the prince who was promised. So this is basically where they set up Sam to be Azor Ahai, which is not a thing. He's not, but no.
I mean, it's a nice bro, like, bonding moment. Like, wow, if you're our last hope, wow, we're more fucked than I thought we were, basically. Like, I get it. It's kind of like friendly, brotherly, like, banter. It's kind of like diffusing the tension, so to speak. That's kind of what I see that scene as being. Like, okay, we've amped up things. Let's take it down a little bit and then amp it up again.
Tori, I stole books from the Citadel.
Yeah.
And he's like waiting for the other guys to respond, and they're like, I don't know what that means. And he's like, I stole books. Jeez, react, guys. It's huge.
It's harder than you think it is.
Yeah. But then after that we have one of my favorite scenes during this whole episode, which is it's kind of cut up in different pieces, but it starts out with just Jaime and Tyrion drinking by the fireplace, basically just chilling, and this whole scene, for however long it is, it's just so beautiful. They just talk about the past with Tywin, and they wish that he was there just to see them, fight alongside with the Darks, just to piss their father off. And this is also where Jaime establishes that the Golden Lion is gone.
Yeah.
And what do we think? What do we think of this scene? Like, because more people are getting in as well.
Do you want to just take the whole scene in one go, or do you want to take it piece by piece chronologically, or?
Well, I think we're gonna take it chronologically, just so we don't mess things up. But basically what happens here is just that everyone is getting into the room, and they just start by talking with each other.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's nice. It's like a quiet moment before the storm kind of thing.
Yeah.
And every drama needs the quiet before the storm.
Yes. and everyone drinks. I think when Tyrion, Brienne is like, no, we're not gonna drink. And then they're like, okay, half a cup, Podrick, just half a cup. And Tyrion is like, pulls the whole thing like over.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a secret between us. It's just, it's so nice to just see this bro moment, because it's only people who kind of like each other that in the beginning of the series hated each other, but now they're actually becoming friends for real. And I don't know, this scene just spoke a lot to me.
Yeah.
And then Davos comes in to warm his butt, and then Tormund comes in and he's like, oh, hey, big lady. So let's talk about Tormund trying to, woo Brienne by outdoing Jaime, because he's like, I see what you're doing here. I'm gonna out you.
Yeah, it's a pissing contest.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was like, you're this is flirting based on what you know.
This is how the wildlings their ladies, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's so sweet because he really, tried to, because he thinks of Brienne as a really, really strong woman. She's not only big, but she's super strong. So he has to, really, really be so strong that he can, be a match for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am worthy of you, large woman.
Yes.
No, but I...
Go on.
No, I really appreciated his comment. It just shows where the wildlings stand when it comes to men and women. Like, you're not a sir? Why the hell not? Like...
Yeah, but that's later, though.
Yeah.
That's later.
But
I agree.
Since we're talking about Tormund, I was like, I really appreciated that comment.
Yes, it's very cool.
And I really like the look on Jaime's face when, Tormund drinks. And he's like, is this what I have to compete against? What the fuck?
I really love the stare that Brienne and Jaime gives each other, like...
What the fuck?
And also Davos, he just looks so done. He's just
I think I'm gonna need that drink after all. Where's the booze?
But do we believe Tormund's story? Do we think that this story about the giant is true?
No. I think he might have, killed a giant, but not age of 10.
And I don't think he fucked the giant's wife. And
no, he didn't. He didn't fuck the wife. He just
suckled.
Yeah, no, but he said he went into bed with the giant's wife, and then when she woke up, she started suckling him because she thought he was her kid. So either way, like, regardless of whether or not he actually fucked her or not, doubt it.
I don't think I didn't interpret it as he fucked the giant.
I was like, I don't understand. Did you or did you not? But at the age of 10, no.
No, I don't think it did.
No.
But he might have, gotten his hands on some giant milk, and that's why he's so strong. He's called Giant's Bane. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but the thing...
Maybe it's like with Jack and the Beanstalk. He killed the giant by accident.
Yeah, maybe.
That's possible. No, but I mean, like, all of the wildlings, they only get their names by earning them. They have to do something to earn them, and they're very literal and very specific. So I don't think it's a metaphor for anything. I think he actually killed a giant at some point. I think that.
Yeah, probably. Okay, next scene. It's Arya and the Hound, later joined by Beric. But what do we think of Arya and the Hound's talk?
It was short.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got interrupted so many times during that scene that I really didn't pay much attention to what they said or the mood, because I was so annoyed at all the stuff during the episode.
I don't think they fix your shit.
They didn't speak much, because the Hound's opening line for Arya when she just sat down next to him was, "Why are you so quiet?" or something like that, because she used to bug the shit out of him. I don't remember her response, but they talk a little bit. Like, it's just that they are like Brienne and Jaime used to be. They insult each other, they bicker, they cannot be nice to each other, but at the same time, Arya wants to sit down next to the Hound and be there, or at least for a while before she leaves, the last day that she, the last day before a big battle. But then the barrack joins in and become, talking about Lord of Light and blah, blah, blah. And this is where they kind of set up the Hound to be the Azor Ahai during this episode. Just mentioning it because they're doing this a lot. And then Arya's like, ugh, you guys are boring. I can't spend my last day with you. Bye! And then we get to one of the most awkward, weirdest scenes I've ever seen in Game of Thrones ever. Arya shooting arrows, and here comes Gendry!
Just watching her from the shadows like a creepy stalker.
Well, he brings her weapon, though.
But still, he could have just walked in and said, hey, I got your weapon. But no, he's standing there in the dark watching her shoot, going like, oh, wow.
Ooh,
she's so
you're
cool.
Really good. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, admire your biggest...
probably. But
anyway...
Maybe not from the shadows, though.
No. But we talked a little bit about Arya's weapon being this kind of Darth Maul kind of dragon glass thing, and we were right. It was. So that's cool. What do we think of the scene, though? I mean, first they start off by talking about the Red Lady, of what happened before. And when Gendry's like, oh, she put leeches on and took off my pants. And she's like, was it your first time with leeches? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so the thing with this is like, I feel if Arya wanted to have sex with Gendry, I'm not sure she would just talk about it so much and ask all of these weird questions. How many times have you had sex? I didn't keep count. Yes, you did.
Yeah. I guess she just wanted to know because she hasn't done it anymore.
No, she hasn't. But I mean, like, if she wanted to, I think she would have just, like, to me, her character is more like she would just do it rather than just talk about it. But maybe she just wanted to make sure that he wasn't a virgin either and that she was going to get something out of it.
Yeah, that was my impression too. That he wouldn't be a virgin and be too shy to actually pull through.
I think she is in such need of control.
Yeah.
That when she actually lets somebody else come that close to her, because she is a trained assassin, and you shouldn't let anyone become that close to you without trusting them. And she basically played the game of faces with him.
Yeah.
Because she read him like a book. Yeah. She was like, I know your land, bitch. Tell the truth. And he was like, ah. And it was just like seeing her back at the House of Black and White, when they played the game of faces there.
Yeah.
But, Gendry couldn't lie for shit.
No,
that's what that showed me.
He's never been a liar. And, I mean, he is so honest and he cares for her a lot. We know that. And she cares for him a lot, obviously, because if not, she would never let him near her at all.
I agree.
So, I mean, I've always liked the idea of the two of them together. I'm just not entirely comfortable with how it all came down.
No. It was a little bit weird. It was a little bit weird.
It felt like it was, it wasn't genuine, sort of.
I guess he was in a hurry because that it could have been there last night.
Yeah, for sure. And I get that. What I did think when I sat there watching the episode for the first time was Robert Baratheon finally got his wish.
A Stark in the Baratheon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
this is true.
Because in season 1 he wanted Sansa to marry Joffrey because he thought Joffrey was a Baratheon.
This is true.
And to forge an alliance. So, like, if Arya gets pregnant after this, then, you have a potential new heir to the throne of the Seven Kingdoms, basically. Because
it's all gonna start over again, and this kid is gonna, start the new Baratheon rebellion against the Targaryens, and on we go.
It's a thing. I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. But, I mean, that could have been a thing. If Arya were more politically inclined, if she wanted the throne or whatever, I mean, she could be doing this on purpose. This could not have been a move of, like, oh, I want intimacy at all. It could just be a political move.
I think she just wanted the experience.
Yeah.
I think she genuinely wanted to feel what it was like before she potentially will die. And I think it's just a contrast to the scene that we saw earlier with her being so aggressive.
Yeah.
Like,
and
it's
also,
the
did you see the way her face, like her facial expression went when he said that I'm the bastard son of Robert Baratheon? She made a face.
She did. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, potentially, but it like, interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think that she kind of chose the dumbest moment to lose her virginity, because first times are not as good as the other times.
No, that's true. That's true.
Anyway, that maybe explains why she was awake after just lying there next to him, like...
Yeah, like, fuck, why?
Anyway, Cece Tori is saying, I think if she didn't care for him, she wouldn't ask. No, I agree.
True.
I just think that she wanted to know if she could trust him or not.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think it's weird to see a character that you kind of have been watching since they was a child doing something like that, because the change of the age isn't that... is that not that visual for us as a viewer to see? So to me, it was kind of weird, just because
she's still a child in our eyes.
Yes, and she's not. She's clearly not, and I think that's also one of the reasons why they decided to do this. But I think that is why this is so weird in comparison to other sex scenes in this show.
Because it felt kind of like a child having sex with an adult.
Yeah.
But I mean, she is a grown-up. She is.
Oh, yeah, she is. But with that said, though, I think they chose to do it in a tasteful manner.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. Cece Tori says, when you go back, though, she's a baby. Yes, when you go back, you can clearly see the difference, so that definitely helps. But still, she's baby Arya!
Yeah, she'll always be our baby.
Don't tell her to her face. She'll stab you. Anyone else want to add something to this awkward sex scene before we move on? No. Because now we get to the best. We get to the best part with our squad by the fireplace. Because this is where everyone basically talks about their heroic acts and each other's heroic acts and calling each other sirs and like, to Sir Brienne, and no, I'm not a sir. And then Thormund does the great thing and doesn't understand why. Yeah.
Tradition. And then, I mean, just, it's such a sweet moment when Jaime goes like, you know what? You don't need a king to become a knight.
Yeah. I just like that in a room of powerful men, all of them agrees. None of them oppose. Every one of them is like, yes, you should be a sir. This is a stupid tradition.
Yeah. And like they understand that she really wants it, even though she says like, I don't care. I totally don't want to be a sir at all.
And this is where Brienne becomes a Azor Ahai.
Yes.
This is where she is being reborn as a sir. She is now officially a knight. She and Jaime basically have the same sword. He has a Valyrian steel sword, because that's also one of like the criterias that they should have if Lightbringer is a sword, that is. And there's a lot of things that kind of points out that Brienne might be the Azor Ahai. Because Jaime might sacrifice himself for her. And Jaime might be her Nisa.
Yeah. Completely possible. As Cece says, one of the best moments in the show, honestly, the joy on her face. Yes.
Yeah.
I was moved. I shed a tear. I was happy for Brienne.
Same. I was squealing so hard for that. But I think Brienne's life is full circle now.
Yeah.
So if she is not the prince that was promised or princess that was promised, I think she might actually die, because she has served all of her purposes. Everything is full circle with her story.
Yeah, she got what she wanted, and she got to be knighted by her hero, basically.
And all her friends.
Yeah.
And she was looked upon as
an equal.
Equal, yeah.
In a room full of powerful and achieved heroes.
Yeah, so good. I will be sad if Brienne dies, but if she does, I will feel like she has at least, like, her story has been told.
Yes.
It won't be... What?
She has accomplished what she set out to do.
Yeah.
Like, it won't feel as abrupt and unfinished as Marjorie's death did, because...
Oh, no.
Because, I mean, a lot of people were shook after Marjorie died, and I understand that anyone can die at any minute in time, and I wasn't very attached to Marjorie, but I thought that it was just too fast to, like, bam, done. Never gonna
hear warning.
Yeah. Like, or anything about her afterwards, like, nothing. So,
but it builds up on Cersei's story.
Yes, it does, for sure. But I mean, like, Cersei is the Mad Queen. She's basically taken over for the past Mad King.
She has. CC Story says, and that is why I think die next week. Brienne, that is. Her finally becoming a knight to then die after achieving that. Yeah. So we agree. That's cool. But I think this scene was so beautiful, well made, and it was slow paced. They didn't stress through getting the story told, and I just appreciated it a lot.
Yeah, they took their sweet time doing this.
Next scene is the one with Jorah and little Lyanna Mormont. Basically him telling her, you should be in the crypt, and she's like, no, I'm gonna fight.
Yeah. I love Lyanna Mormont. She's a badass.
Yeah, my hubby said it. She's been cool from the first moment you met her.
Yeah, she has.
Like, I mean, you can tell that she's scared because she's just a child, but she's got so much strength and determination and sense of honor in her little tiny body that people have to obey her, basically. They can't really argue with her.
And also, it's kind of very much of Jon's way of doing things as well. Like, when he told Ramsay in the Battle of the Bastards, like, we could fight each other and end it right here. And Jon is like, yes, I will fight for my men, but he won't fight for you. I actually think it's Sansa who says that, to be honest. But anyway, whoever says it, it's kind of that same mentality that Lyanna brings with her. She wants to fight with her men.
Yeah.
Not sit behind and puppeteer them. Yeah. So she's great. I think she might die, though.
Yeah, I mean, she is a child. I don't care how much training she has had. She is going up against Nightwalkers. Like, she probably has personal guards that will try to keep her safe, but chances are high of her dying.
Yeah. Then Sam walks in and gives Jorah his family sword.
Yeah.
What do we think of this?
Well, as you've said, you won't have to say it this time. I will say it. This is Jorah's Azor Ahai moment.
See, they're doing this to every character. They're setting everyone up.
Yeah. He's been reborn after he had the dragon scale and Sam saved him. Now he's gotten a Valyrian steel sword. He's sacrificed himself for people he loves in the past.
He was reborn because Sam fixed him.
Yeah. And he might sacrifice himself again. I mean, like... Yeah, there are many things that said that he could also be the one. So I don't know what the tally is anymore. We have, like, 8.
All of them.
All of them are Azor Ahai all at once. I don't know.
Yes. But, like, yeah, there's so many things. Many things.
I'm really guessing that this Azor Ahai legend or whatever is more of a prophecy that anyone can fulfill. They just have to do all the right criteria to become that prince. So that's why they're setting so many people up. Not just necessarily to throw us off to who it might be, but it is a prophecy anyone can fulfill if they just do the right things.
Yeah, maybe. But the thing is, there are very specific things that you have to tick off of to become the Azor Ahai. But it's all about how you view it. You know, the text doesn't have to be literal at all. So it just, like you say, it can mean anything because you can interpret it differently. So I think that's why they made this prophecy in that way.
Yeah, probably. Like, I'm kind of sad that Melisandre isn't to be seen anywhere. Like, I feel like she also kind of just got cut off the show and then nothing was ever heard of her anymore.
Well, if John did say to her that if she ever did show her face up north again, he would hang her. Yeah. So we might see her back in, you know, King's Landing whenever that is going to happen.
Potentially.
She said in the last season that she was going to die in Westeros. So I'm thinking that they will bring her back at some point.
At least I hope to see her again. I feel there are some loose ends that need to be collected for her character. Yes.
But do we think that Jorah will bring the sword justice?
Yeah, I think so. He has a lot to prove still to himself and for Dany and for his family. And he never meant to be a traitor. It was just a series of unfortunate choices driven by a very selfish, egotistical, tyrannical wife.
This is very true. Also, Hedesitizing Melisandre will be back, I think. She told Arya that she would see her again.
Yes,
this is true.
This is true.
So we will see. That means Arya will...
That means Arya will, survive?
Yeah,
that's it.
She will survive to King's Landing at least.
That's very possible. If Melisandre is to be believed, I mean, she's been wrong in the past, but I hope it's true.
Oh yeah. She's a fanatic, crazy woman.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been very much wrong all the time.
Yeah.
But she did bring Jon back from the dead, you know, so she's good for something.
Yeah. She has potential.
She has. But then we're back at the Death Squad again. And
not the Hero Squad?
No, they're Death Squad because they're all gonna die. The Death Squad. No, Hero Squad. Tyrion is like, okay, what about the song? And he just looks around the room and everyone's like, no, not me.
Do you have a death wish?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I called them the Death Squad. And
no surprise, Podrick is the one who starts to sing.
Because he hasn't said anything. Just sat there and nodded. And now, when he speaks, it's just pure, beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, it reminded me so much of the scene in Lord of the Rings where Pippin sings in the hall where those riders go over to the city and all die. So great omen.
The road ahead.
So they all gotta die.
Yeah, it's likely. Some of them will die for sure.
But what I think is nice is while this song is going on, Podrick for president, it says. I agree.
And Cece says, Podrick heart.
Yes.
Can someone get me a Podrick, please, lol?
It's like a podcast.
Yeah.
Podrick.
This will just be a Podrick fan cast from here on out.
Oh, if Rick, our GM, ever makes a podcast for his own, Podrick.
But I just really enjoyed the cutscenes throughout this song, where you see Sansa and Theon, and just the way that they looked at each other was just so pure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I ship them?
I kind of do. I kind of do now.
Well, they can't have offspring.
No, but I think that's kind of the beautiful part because I don't think Sansa will ever want to have sex with anyone ever again.
And the poetic thing with it is that Ramsay was the one who fucked both of them.
Yeah. brought them together.
Shit.
Basically. Oh my god. That is the most
No, but-
fucked up love story ever.
But I seriously do, because they share something that nobody else
Yeah.
knows about.
No one
kind
else
of.
will understand the torture that they both underwent under Ramsay.
Yeah.
And they just bonded so much during the escape and the time running up to the escape. Like, I understand it if they seek each other out and feel like they have a special bond.
Yeah. I strangely ship Theon and Sansa now too.
Oops. Yes.
Yeah, so, but it's just that the way that they looked at each other was
Yeah.
just so pure and so real. It didn't feel like actors, it felt real. I'm like, yes, this is the real world.
Babies.
And then the Arya and Gendry scene where Arya just lies awake in bed. I think she's just anxious about the battle.
I think so too. I don't think she had a bad time of it or anything.
No.
No. But it's just like appropriate. I would be nervous too.
Yeah, same.
Cece says, okay, so I do a bit too, I guess, but I don't know if it's platonic or not.
No, I don't know. Like, it doesn't have to be a romance thing. I just shipped them
Yeah.
as being together.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of married people doesn't share beds,
Yeah.
so maybe they're one of those kinds of
They
people.
could be. I think that's a possibility at least.
Yeah.
So it was
But
just
yeah.
a nice moment.
It was. And also, one of the last moments we see during the song is Grey Worm and Missandei basically saying their goodbyes. I think this is their last goodbye.
I think so too. I think one of them is going down.
Yeah, I think so too. At least they're gonna get separated and die. I think they're gonna end up at two completely different places, and
Yeah.
they'll have to find each other again.
The sequel series to Game of Thrones will be The Hunt for Missandei. It will be told from Grey Worm's point of view.
Who knows? But the song ends with Jon and Dany in the crypt.
Yeah. You knew that was coming. You knew it
Yeah.
was coming.
So what do we think, guys?
I think Jon could have chosen a better way to say it.
He's just being Jon, to be fair.
Yes, he is. He does not. Words are not his thing always.
No.
Well, I think it was kind of nice though that he led with him telling a story about how it happened, because he doesn't really have any other proof that he is
No.
Aegon.
No, that's true.
So that's all he has. It's the story and the testimony of his brother and best friend.
Well,
Yeah.
but they in turn have his brother has his visions, and that's kind of hard to prove. But Sam has the journal of a High Septon, so that kind of has to count for something because that's stolen from the Citadel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hard for Dany to understand and to accept in any way, shape, or form. But it's just like the way he said it made it feel like, okay, so this is one of the big betrayals in that the prophecy Dany got spoke of, because she looked like she felt betrayed and like, and he didn't even say like, I didn't know this when we first met. He didn't let her know that this was completely new to him as well. Like, he just told it as if he had known it all along and had just been playing with her.
Yeah, she might feel a little bit betrayed after
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't take much for her to feel
No.
betrayed.
Yeah, but like when we then go back to the conversation between Sansa and Dany in the room earlier, when Dany's like, whom manipulated whom? Because
Yeah.
Dany came to save Jon and fight his war.
Yeah. And
So she might actually think that Jon knew this all along.
yeah, and used her.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so that's what I meant when I said that he could have worded himself better, because it sounded like he manipulated her from the get-go and knew everything from the start.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
But he's not a speaker, really. He's never... I don't know. I don't think he has thought this through. He's not Tyrion. He's not clever with words. He's not Sansa.
if anything, you should have talked to Tyrion first, I think. Gotten some pointers.
Maybe.
Cece Tori says, I honestly didn't think he would tell her in this episode. I thought he did.
I thought so too.
Just because it's such a big thing, and to keep it for later in the season would have made them very pressed for time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when would be a good time to tell her, if not before the major battle that could end everyone's lives?
Yeah. And then after they speak, we hear... No, but also, like, Dany's obsession about the throne. Like, she kept just asking about the throne, the throne, the throne. And that's something I've seen with her. She does that a lot. And when she speaks about the Iron Throne and that she wants to sit there, she gets very aggressive.
Yep.
So I think it's more of the Mad King in her than she's, admitting.
Yeah, if she had a resume, it would say goal-oriented.
Oh, yeah. I think so, too. I think she means well, but she's crazy.
But I mean, I think she started out meaning well. Like, she started out wanting to be a good queen, a good ruler, that the one that the people deserved, that would be just. But now, it's kind of become such a personal obsession to her that it's all about what she wants and her throne and her right and her inheritance. She doesn't talk about the people anymore. It's a very subtle shift that's happened over several seasons. And she hasn't realized it yet. But
she's so
about
close.
Her. Yeah.
She's so close. And usually that's what you do. You see that with people who runs marathons and everything. They give everything at the last meters. Like, they don't plan it out. Like, they can plan out how they run, how they use their energy along the way. But as they are close to the finish line, they will just push even harder and forget everything else. So I think that's a bit what we're seeing now, because she's feeling that she's so close. So she's forgetting all her morals.
Yeah, and now she has a person in front of her that has the first right of the throne, not her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's her biggest, obstacle.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even care. He doesn't even want it.
No, but she doesn't know that.
No.
And I mean, the only way for her now to feel like she has a legitimate claim to the throne is to either kill him or marry him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the kids outside your house who's screaming, Anita?
Yeah. I have sound effects.
Yeah, just stick your head out and say, "Hey kids, shut up!"
I just had to make sure that nobody was actually dying.
No. Well, I mean, I can't make any promises.
Oh. Now it's on the internet forever. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, after this conversation, they don't really finish, and they don't really conclusion, because they get interrupted by war horns, and we see Dany and Jon merging to the top of the wall of Winterfell, looking out with Tyrion, and they kind of look at each other and nod, and it's like they still have an understanding. I still think that they're gonna, do the fight as they planned.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna ride dragons. I think that's what they're gonna do.
I think so too.
Maybe.
Aerial battle with the Night King.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Hopefully they get to kill their brother dragon, or at least take him away.
Let's cross
from the
our
Night
fingers
King.
for that.
I don't think the Night King will be killed in the next episode.
I don't think so either. That would be too
No?
easy. Or I mean, it could happen. We could be wrong, and then the rest of the season is about taking King's
Cersei?
Landing and Cersei, for all we know.
Because after the next episode, we will be halfway through.
Yeah, there aren't that many episodes this season.
Only
so.
6.
Oh Lord.
I know. Yeah. And also, I mean, the battle could rage on through several episodes. It might not end in the next episode. We might cut in the middle of it and then have to suffer for a week while we wait for the continuation.
I just know that I expect greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And So I'm not really sure. Like, I think because what we see the next is just, camera panning out. We see the White Walkers and they're right outside of Winterfell. So it's pretty obvious that the next episode is going to be the battle episode. Yeah. It's rumored that it's going to be the battle episode. And it's rumored that it's going to be long.
The thing about when we see those Nightwalkers, it's only his commanders.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are the only one. I mean, we can't even see an army. Only those of his commanders are there.
What if the commanders are the only one who's taking Winterfell and the Night King himself with his army
go south?
Go south.
That can be it.
Yeah, that's completely possible.
Maybe he doesn't think of the Dany and her dragons as such a big threat that he has to show up in person. He takes the south first, and then they will emerge on the middle.
Because Cersei has 20,000 men.
Yeah. They might just decide to lay siege to Winterfell, because basically they're an army who doesn't need to eat, sleep, use the bathroom. Like, they can just wait outside of Winterfell forever and starve people to death.
Yeah. And like Sansa said last episode, they don't have enough food to feed everyone.
So that could get ugly really fast. Cece says that it's going to be over 80 minutes long, the next episode.
I can't wait!
Yes.
It's gonna be great!
Glorious! And I'm watching it on my PC, not on my TV, because,
Yeah, no, I haven't had any problems with HBO on my PC. I watched this episode 3 times, I think.
Yeah, I've just seen it the once.
Yeah, the thing is that HBO, the app on the PS4, it didn't act up on the first episode, just the second one, and that, I think, is because I decided to watch it before this episode.
Yeah.
And it just made sure that I wasn't gonna be on time.
Yeah. It's just the universe wanting to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about me.
No, but we have any other predictions of what may happen in the next episode to come or the episode after that? I think definitely we're going to have an episode with Yara taking the Iron Islands, maybe at the same time as the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah, I think there will have to be several things happening all at once. Like, we'll probably see something from King's Landing too. Someone will have to send a raven down there and let them know what's going on. That the armies of the dead have arrived, so to speak.
Unless the army arrive at King's Landing first.
Oh, that's true. That could happen too.
Because, as we learned in Season 7, time travel is possible now in Game of Thrones.
It helps to have a dragon.
And the Night King has a dragon now. He can travel as far and fast as he wants.
Yeah, he can.
Yes. But I don't think he can go that far. He can't control his arc if he is too far off.
Probably not.
I guess it just needs fresh corpses, and I guess there are plenty of those around King's Landing.
Yes, but he steers the army, so he needs to be there, I think, for them to actually do what he wants them to do, or else I just think they will stand there and watch and wait.
Like he has a range like Wi-Fi.
No, but you have to see what you're doing to make it happen.
He doesn't have a satellite.
No.
They're hive mind.
Yeah. No, it's going to be very interesting to see what next episode brings and the episodes after that.
Yeah.
Because but the thing is that most of the characters are in Winterfell. The only ones who aren't are Cersei, Bronn, and Yara, I think.
Euron.
Yeah, Euron. He's with Cersei.
He's with Cersei.
And Maester Qyburn, Cersei's
nobody cares about him.
Nobody cares about him. So, I mean, everyone else is at Winterfell, so I think the focus will stay there most of the time. Prediction-wise, though, what I do think is that because you see the crypt and the levels below the castle at King's Landing in the intros, in the new intro, they will be featured in some key role in the future episodes.
I think so too. And there's also, like, since the Night King and his commanders can raise the dead, there are some speculation about them raising the dead Starks.
That could actually happen.
And there are also, lots of dead dragon skeletons below King's Landing.
Yeah. Oh my god, can you imagine a undead headless Eddard Stark? Oh no! Oh
no! The CGI would be too terrible, I think. No, but I actually think that, because usually in battle episodes, they interlude with some short scenes from other things.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe we will see more of Bran doing his thing, going back in time and trying to figure out, and we get to see more of the Night King. Because I think that we have to get more of his story at some point. That this can't be it. Like, everything else is so well established and so well explained. But there are zombies! It's a fantasy setting with zombies! It's like, we don't know much more than that.
Cece Dory says, no, I don't want that. I assume she's talking about undead Eddard Stark.
Yes.
And besides, we have seen before when Bran went into the past where he witnessed the birth of Jon.
Yes.
He touched,
and the Night King making.
He touched Ned, and Ned reacted. So I believe Bran possibly has power to change the past.
But he has. We saw that with Hodor.
Yeah, he can. He can work into people's minds in the past to control them in the present. That's why Hodor lost his mind as a young boy. And Bran is the only one who can do this. Bran is also the only person alive who can warg living like humans. All other wargs can only do animals. So it's also been theorized that Bran could potentially warg into a dragon.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of options.
There's many options, and I'm just excited to see like everything coming together. But I actually think that we might see some more Bran action next. I hope so.
I want to. I mean, because I get that people think that Bran is creepy, and he is a bit creepy, but Bran is also still a person. There's still things going on in there, and he's very vital to the rest of the story.
We have a weird question.
Yeah, I can see that. Hi, I have a question. Shall I let my brother do a puzzle or just put him in the dishwasher already?
Don't put your brother in the dishwasher.
No. Just give him a puzzle.
I guess that person is tired of babysitting.
Probably.
Maybe.
Probably.
But he's saying, could he work into the Night King? Yeah, that's the theories. That Bran works into the Night King while he was in the making in the past, and that he is the Night King now.
That's one of the theories. I don't believe in this one myself, but I mean I could be wrong. But it just seems weird because then he could have ended it a long time ago for himself.
Maybe he doesn't want to.
Maybe he doesn't want to.
He wants to rid the world of everything toxic. And humans are usually very toxic.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's a tough one. Yeah, it's hard to predict this battle because I don't know how the battle itself is going to play out at all.
No. And also, don't put your brother in the oven. No. Be nice. Yeah. Don't do anything that you will, end up in prison by doing. If so, you're stupid.
Yes. Cece says, yeah, but work into him in present day. I don't think Bran can do that.
No, I don't think he can work into undead or unliving or whatever.
Well, I mean, he might be able to, but the Night King is so powerful. I mean, Bran has met him inside like the Green Dreams before or while warging, and the Night King can see him, can sense him, knows where he is at all times, touched him the last time they were too close, and Bran, could have died. So I'm not sure if Bran is powerful enough to work into the Night King. It might not be possible. Because he's ancient. I mean, his mental barriers must be insane.
He's a level 20 character and Bran's a level 5.
But maybe he could work into the Night King's dragon.
Maybe you could.
Throw him off his game, so to speak.
It would be cool. Like, we've talked about that before. Like, Jon being the rider of one, Dany the other one, and then Bran working the third.
Yeah.
And then the third got, turned. But it's still a possibility that Bran can steer the third one.
So. But it's all just theories until next Monday.
It is. But did we like this episode? Are we happy with it?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good episode.
Oh no, Cece, no.
No one burned Hodor, right? No.
No! Don't wanna.
They didn't.
Oh my gosh.
They didn't.
Shame.
He's starting to get back.
Shame.
Poor Hodor.
That means we're gonna see him again.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Legit, a possibility.
Yeah,
yes.
If the curators, thought of it.
I think they did. They think of
everything.
They've had 2 years to think of everything.
Yeah. Cece really liked the episode too.
Yeah. Like, I thought it was gonna be more. I thought we were going to get to see other things as well. Like, there were nothing from King's Landing and nothing from Yara, and that surprised me a little. Yeah. But I thought it was a very good episode. I liked it a lot, and it was a little bit like the first one, a setup episode.
Yeah, pretty much. It amped up our investment in these characters, basically. Like, it made us care about characters we might have forgotten a little bit about, like, oh, that's right, you had that thing going on, and oh no,
Yeah.
That's pretty much what that was about.
Take it away. Yeah.
But it was good storytelling. I mean,
it was.
A lot of the times when TV shows try to make you feel things about characters, if the storytelling is bad, it feels disingenuous and kind of cheap and awkward. And really, the only awkward moment was the Arya Gendry sex scene, and the rest of it felt very, very emotional and very real.
Yeah, but also the first time you do the thing, it is mostly awkward for people, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of fitting in that way.
That's true. Very true.
Don't forget your jokes now.
What? My joke?
It's like the king got his wish after all.
Oh, I already did that one. Ula is like, don't forget your joke about how Robert Baratheon got his wish after all. With the Baratheon Stark alliance.
But what was our favorite moments from this episode?
I think it's when I think for me it was Brienne being knighted.
Same. The whole scene with the fireplace was my favorite.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's that one or Theon and Sansa. Those are my 2 favorite picks. It's hard to choose between the 2, but I agree with you guys. The Brienne moment was the biggest moment of the episode for sure.
But before we're gonna leave now with everything, I have one more thing on my agenda that I want to talk about, because I know that I've been talking a lot about the Azor Ahai thing, and I was just going to explain it now that we have everything filled up, like everything is all completed and collected. So the thing with the theory about the Azor Ahai, it's a person who has been resurrected as something else. It doesn't mean you have to have been dead. It just means that you have to have changed your personality in some way or another,
Drastically.
Yes, and it said that the Azor Ahai was born in, not born maybe, but something born between salt and smoke. Salt can be sweat, it can be water, it can be other things. Smoke can be fire, it can be, this is where it kind of fits with both Danny, it fits with Theon in a way. It can be Jon when he was born out of the kind of heap of people in the Battle of the Bastards, full of blood and sweat, I guess, and guts. Probably smoke too. It was fire there. So there's a lot of things that you can find in every like person, I think. Salt can be tears.
Could be a desert. There are salt deserts up there.
Yes.
Yeah, it could, and it also could be in a city near the sea, and now being raised as a blacksmith.
Yes.
Yeah, it can be that as well. See, it's everywhere. Also in the books, I think maybe we talked a little bit about that last time, that Gendry was, it's not brought up in the series, but in the books he was brought up, like he was brought up by the blacksmith who knew how to forge Valyrian steel swords. So Gendry in the books knows how to forge a Valyrian steel sword.
Yeah.
And it said that the Azor Ahai is a warrior with a burning sword, like Beric Dondarrion. He has a burning sword, but I don't think it's him. And you remember that falling star from season 2? It's something about that star too, reborn at that moment or something like that. I don't know. And also in the real story, the Azor Ahai, when he forged his sword, he tried it 3 times but failed. The first time he forged it, he kind of tried to level it in water, and it broke. Blade broke. And you remember back when after Jaime lost his hand, he had a bath with Brienne, and he broke. He kind of he broke emotionally in the bathtub with Brienne. The second time the Azor Ahai forged his sword, he stuck it in the heart of a lion. And Jaime has kind of broken his sister's heart. He has forgotten the lion, and as he said earlier in the episode, the golden lion is dead. He has left the golden lion behind. But that's not enough to make the Azor Ahai. The last thing that he did was that he plunged the sword in the heart of his biggest love, who was Nisa, and that merged her soul into the blade and made it whole, and that's how he made Lightbringer.
Yes, that's the original Azor Ahai that existed before the new one, because there are several Azor Ahais, so it's not confusing at all.
No, but this is why the story fits very well to Jaime Lannister, because he has been through that sword, that kind of process of the same way they forged the sword earlier.
Yeah.
So there's this crazy story about, there's a lot of theories about this going to be his golden hand and not the sword this time. That one is really far off, but yeah.
And I mean, Jon Snow, you could say the same. He lost his great love. Like, he didn't directly kill Ygritte, but the Night's Watch killed Ygritte, so basically, he killed her. Or his oaths did, and a lot of people think that Azor Ahai is Daenerys, just because she was the one who saw the comet, and she was going through a lot of shit at that time, and
she was born through smoke, at least, in the sand, probably salt as well.
Yeah, like she was born at Dragonstone during a storm.
Oh yeah, no, but reborn.
Oh yeah, because she was in the desert and there was fire and smoke and probably salt present too. Who knows?
Yes, because she went into that tent and it was full on fire and survived it. So and Brienne again, I think could be possible that it's her, just because Game of Thrones loves foreshadowing, and in an earlier episode, some of Daenerys's people said that Azor Ahai could be a girl. It doesn't have to be a man, because it means both prince and princess. It means both. That's why I'm like, is a foreshadowing for Brienne? Yeah. I kind of want it to be Brienne, but I don't think it is.
It would be interesting if it was, but I don't think it's her either, to be fair. No, so I don't want to speculate too much. I kind of want it to be a surprise and be like, when it happens.
I don't think it will be a surprise, though.
No, probably not. We'll see. So, before we sign off, though, when are we going on next time to talk about the episode 3 of Game of Thrones, which is going to be a long one because the episode 3 is going to be a long one.
It's gonna be 80 minutes. I think it's probably gonna be either on Wednesday or Thursday. So it all depends on which days that fits, you guys.
Yeah.
We can put up a poll because it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter for my part.
Yeah, we
The
have
first or
we
the
have a
second
poll
of May.
thing here on the on our Twitch channel, Twitch Picks. So we can put up a poll here, and then people can come in and vote for when they want us to put on the next episode of Game of Spoilers. But it will be either Wednesday or Thursday next week.
Yeah. And CC3 asks, where is the Mormont house? It is on Bear Island, so that's basically around sea salt water as well. So it can be Jorah.
It could be. All right, we hope you guys had fun together with us today. Thank you for watching Game of Spoilers. And if you guys want to come with us on the show and talk about Game of Thrones, like if you're very excited about an episode and you want to discuss with us, let us know, and we'll invite you in on the chat, and you can be here and talk Game of Spoilers with us.
Yeah.
Or just stay in the chat. That's perfectly fine, too.
Yes.
Yes.
We like both.
Yes, we do.
And also, if you have any theories, feel free to share them with us so we can check them out.
Yes.
We have a chat going on Discord. Discord button is below this video, so it's easy to find. And join our Game of Spoilers chat. Maybe we can make a poll. I don't know how you make polls in Discord, but you probably can.
Probably. But
Yeah, I think you can just do an easy one where people react with the different emojis to which
yeah,
they...
you could do that, potentially.
It's an easy way to do it.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Also, remember to follow us on social media if you want to know when we put up new things and when we go live here on Twitch. You can find us at the CosCast on Instagram and on Facebook. We have an account on Twitter, but we don't use it a lot. But that is at CastCause, because that was the only thing available. All right. So have a nice evening, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.